truthful, to each other, and love. And if there's any problems and stuff, talk it out, talk things over.
What? How did you find out you were going to be a parent for the first time?
I was throwing up.
Okay. Do you remember anything your children did when they were small that really amazed you?
Oh, they was always smart.
What was the funniest thing you can remember that one of your children said or did?
Well, uh, one thing that sticks out in my mind is Marty. Uh, Grandpa was dishing out money for allowances and stuff, and Dad was going to give him. He wanted a nickel, and Dad was going to give him $1. No, he had to have a nickel. Well, the dollar's got more nickels in it. No, he wanted a nickel. That was always so cute, and we held it against him, or throws it up to him.
What did you find most difficult about raising children?
Oh dear. I don't know. I can't think of anything. It always just comes along.
Uh, what did you find most rewarding about being a parent?
That they all finished school and have good manners and did well.
How did you first hear you were going to be a grandparent?
Oh, I was elated. It was nobody can tell you how a grandparent feels. It's just completely different.
What advice would you give your children, grandchildren, or great grandchildren about being a parent?
Mm. Gosh, I don't know. Just to really love them and tell them that you love them, and just be a good provider for them.
When and where did your parents die, and what do you remember about it?
My dad, it was Thanksgiving, and we was at Eugenia's apartment and stuff, and then he was in the hospital at Holton, and so Dad and I left and went up to see him, and he had a spell right then, and then he was settled down, wanted to go to bed, and so he wanted his head facing a certain way, and I said, well, it is, Daddy, like he did at home, and his head was facing north. And he said, no, I want it like I lay at home. And I said, yeah, you are, Daddy. No. So we wiggled the bed, act like we was moving it, and he just, you didn't move that. And I said, well, Daddy, that's the way you're laying. And so then after we left there, and I stopped at Aunt Dee's to tell her how he was doing, and she had gotten a call from the nursing home, and the time we left there and went to her house, he had died. And so that was, and then my mother was in Plaza West nursing home. She had fallen and broken her hip, and she was there for therapy, and then she just kept getting bad, and she died there.
Do you remember hearing your grandparents describe their lives?
No, I sure don't.
Who is the oldest person you remember as a child?
Well, let's see, as a child, I absolutely don't remember like that.
Do you have any bad habits now or in the past?
Well, I don't think so. Other people probably think so, but I don't recall any right now.
Have you ever been in a serious accident?
Yes. I was coming home from church one Sunday morning. Leanna was just a baby, and it was icy and stuff, and this car run a stop sign and hit me and pushed me into a curb. And these people on the corner, and of course I was scared and in shock and stuff, so I hurried and got out of the car. Well, I was bleeding, and I told the people my phone number to call Dad and or to call Jack, and they were so nervous they couldn't dial it, so I dialed the phone number, and he came down. He was watching the other kids, so we had to call a neighbor and then borrow her car to come down.
Has anyone ever saved your life?
Don't think so.
What would you consider the most important inventions during your lifetime?
Well, I don't know. It was all there that I remember. I'm not that old, Paulie.
That's right. Do you remember the first time you saw a television, a car, or a refrigerator?
My Grandpa Esther and them had one, a TV, and that's the first one I've ever seen.
How old were you?
Gosh, I don't know how old I was.
What U.S. president have you admired the most, and why?
Probably Kennedy, not for maybe how he lived, but what he did for the country.
What were you doing when you heard the news of Pearl Harbor?
Let's see, what was that, 43? Pearl Harbor. I would only been 5 or 6 years old. 41? So I was only 4.
Okay. What were you doing when you heard about 9/11?
Oh, gosh, I was just at home. No.
Saw it on TV?
Yeah. Probably heard it on the news.
What were the hardest choices you've ever had to make?
I can't think of anything.
Was there a person that really changed the course of your life by something he or she did?
Can't think of anything particularly.
Okay. Do you remember any advice or comments that have had a big impact on the way you live?
Don't think so.
Okay. If you could change something about yourself, what would it be?
Have more patience.
What is the most stressful experience you have ever lived through?
I suppose the time of Leon's death.
What is the scariest thing that has ever happened to you?
I don't know.
Kind of a weird question.
Yeah, I don't know of anything particularly.
Did you ever learn to play any musical instruments?
I played drums, snare drums in the school, high school band.
When's the last time you played drums?
Oh, good grief. A long time.
Carter has a set at Mom and Dad's house.
Oh.
You could come teach it. What things have you made that others have enjoyed?
Well, hopefully. I used to make Christmas ornaments and give to my grandkids at Thanksgiving time. And then one year I gave them a box to be able to keep them all in. So they're all probably in the trash today.
We got them. They're in storage. What are your hobbies?
Well, I enjoy playing card games on the computer and puzzles, jigsaw puzzles, and through the winter usually months, because I don't like to watch TV, particularly only two soaps.
Which soap?
Young and the Restless and Bold and the Beautiful. Those are the only two soaps I watch, and I do enjoy them.
How long have you been watching those?
Probably 30-some years.
Is that when they started?
Well, I can't remember when Young and the Restless started. Let's see. Well, no, they probably are longer than that. No, maybe about 30-some years.
Have you ever met any famous people?
What's his name? Neighbors.
Yeah.
No.
Reese.
Oh, Neighbors. The comedian, and we was in Nashville, and he had drove up and his wife, and they was going to go to the grocery store. And so I went up to him. I think I scared him to death, and I'm sure, they're scared, not knowing what people's going to do. But I got his autograph.
Gomer Pyle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he played Gomer Pyle. But Jim Neighbors is what his name.
What organizations or groups have you belonged to?
I am treasurer of the Seaman Historical Society, which my class had started in 1996, and I'm still treasurer today. And had a rest period from '01 to '09 when the president passed away, and so I got back in there. Then I belong to TOPS group, which is Take Off Pounds Sensibly, which I struggle all my life, and I'm a weight recorder for that.
What is the most beautiful place you've ever visited?
Oregon.
What is the longest trip you've ever gone on?
Probably to Oregon.